So Huawei's new Kirin 810 mid-range chip might just be about to upset the mid-range category. If you want to find out what I mean, just watch the video till the end to find out how this thing performs against the other chips. So we've got the Redmi K20, the K20 Pro, the P30 Pro, and the Honor 9X featuring that new Kirin 810 chip. Have a look here. You can see times are synchronized as best as I can do. So the first speed test is just opening up a list of apps for 2 rounds. First round and then the second round. The first set of apps are normal everyday things like messaging apps, music apps, social networking apps, but the main bulk of this test contains games with big or long loading screens. That will put more emphasis on the processors in the phones to see how quick they're loading these apps, and also that second round is going to test RAM management. If a phone has to reload one of the apps, that's going to take a long time and it's going to affect the overall time that it gets in the test. But anyway, here we are at the first big game, which is PUBG. The K20 loaded it first, followed by the P30 Pro, and not far behind that, the Honor 9X with that new chip. The test was repeated 3 times just to take out any human error. So the big takeaway here is that actually the Honor 9X beat the Redmi K20 in the first round, but the Redmi K20 beat the Honor 9X in the second round. So maybe the K20's RAM management was a little bit better, but that 9X seems to be quite powerful. Another thing the Honor 9X has over all of the other phones is this lightning quick fingerprint sensor on the side. You can see the Redmi K20 in slow-mo. It's quick enough, but when you put it beside the Honor 9X, it's just not even a contest. If we slow it down to 240 frames a second, the Honor 9X unlocks literally twice as fast as the K20. Testing the phones, unlocking 10 times in a row as fast as you could. The Honor 9X absolutely smashes the K20 in unlocking time. So that's going to save you a lot of time throughout the day. And seeing them side by side here, you can see it's just not even a contest. That side-mounted fingerprint sensor has really impressed me. It's really easy and convenient to press, and it's a lot quicker. But moving on now to a 4K video export test. This is going to test the processors. Now, the Honor 9X and the Redmi K20 cannot export 4K video. They are limited to processing 1080p video through this app. So those two will have their own race. They'll be exporting the same 1080p 5-minute video. Both the P30 Pro and the Redmi K20 Pro will be exporting a 5-minute 4K video. I want to see which one out of the 9X and the K20 exports that video first. Remember, this new Kirin 810 chip is apparently a challenger to the Snapdragon mid-rangers. But in any case, the K20 Pro is first to finish. A 4K video in just over 2 minutes. That is incredible. And wow, followed by the 9X, it beat the K20, and by a long way too. There's a 43-second difference between the 9X and the K20. Wow, that 810 chip is looking pretty powerful. All right, so let's just test it side by side. Let's see what the difference is. This is Antutu. The 9X is a brand new phone. It's not even been tested yet. Now the P30 Pro and the 9X, both being Huawei phones, you can put them in performance mode. That will give them the best chance as compared to the Snapdragons. And have a look at that. The Kirin 810 chip has just beaten the Snapdragon 730. Have a look at the CPU, but more importantly, the GPU score on that Kirin 810 chip has absolutely smashed the 730 chip in the Redmi K20. So this Kirin 810 chip is looking really good value for money, considering that the 9X is by far the cheapest phone in this list. Although the Redmi K20 does give you some extra features, including the OLED screen and a more feature-rich camera. But anyway, moving on to a RAM management test. You can see me opening up some apps here. First Weibo, then QQ Music and Subway Surfers, They're very small apps. Then we're going on to bigger apps, of course, PUBG, and then moving on to some other games with big loading screens that take up a lot of RAM. The purpose of this test is to see if the phones can keep all of these apps open in the background or if they have to close down the apps. So just flicking through the history here, this is the last open app, PUBG. Okay, it's in memory in all of the phones. Now moving on to another game. This is a Chinese game, Chuanyue. It's a first-person shooter. It's pretty heavy on the system, but you can see it's still open in all of the phones. Now moving on to the next app, which is QQ Music. Right in the middle of these games. It might get closed down if memory is short, but you can see all of the phones keeping all of the apps in memory so far. Moving on to Taobao, a shopping app, still in memory. And the last one, the first app we opened, which was Weibo. Now you can see a loading screen here. This is actually an advert, so I will give it to the phones that they did keep it in memory, but they just reloaded an advert screen. So what are the conclusions of this test? That Kirin 810 chip is powerful. It looks a very, very capable chip, powerful, and it's housed in a really cheap phone in the Honor 9X. If you want to see more, go and check out my Twitter and my Instagram. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.